Καλησπέρα, it's me, Μάριο, και σήμερα θα παίξουμε The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Γιατί αυτό έχει στο PS Plus και σχεδόν μην έδινα λεφτά τώρα.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Δεν θέλω να κάνω skip.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job.
Ωραία.
Stanley was happy.
Ωραία. Ο Στάθης. Αυτός, παιδιά, είναι ο
And
Στάθης.
then one day something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley.
Η παραβολή του
Something he
Stanley.
would never
Του
quite
Στάθη.
forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow.
Περίεργο.
No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Μπορώ να κουνηθώ. Μια χαρά. Ωραία. Γεια σας. Μάλιστα. Ωραία. Βγαίνουμε έξω από το γραφείο μας.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Και όλοι μας οι συνάδελφοι
Stanley
έχουν
decided to go to the meeting
εξαφανιστεί.
room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Προχωράω έτσι. 436 λέει I like work, I just hate my boss. Ωραία. Ό,τι πεις, φίλε.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Εδώ ξεκινάει το καλό. Λοιπόν, μας δίνεται ένα ηθικό δίλημμα όπου ο αφηγητής μου λέει να πάω από τα αριστερά. Εγώ όμως δεν με σταματάει τίποτα από το να πάω δεξιά. Θα το κάνω.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
Συμφωνώ πολύ.
Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Κάτσε εκεί, Στάθη. Δώσ' μου ένα λεπτάκι να φάω.
Yes, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth.
Θα περιμένω.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Συνεχίζουμε. Onward, my son.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Προχωράμε σε αυτό το... Πολύ backroom, παιδί μου, αυτό το γραφείο. Δηλαδή... Ναι. Μου λέει took the first door, open door on his left. Λοιπόν, θα σε ακούσω αυτή τη φορά, παιχνίδι.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door and got back on track.
Γιατί κόβε το διάλογο στο τέλος, σωστά. Αυτό είναι ένα πολύ ωραίο, νόστιμο και δελαστικό, μεγάλο, κόκκινο κουμπί. Και θέλω να το πατήσω με καλή. Θα αντισταθώ. Θα ακούσω τον αφηγητή και θα προχωρήσω ευθεία.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Μάλιστα. Τι λέει εδώ πέρα, τι γίνεται. Meeting room. Ναι. Εδώ τα slides τι λένε. Ευχαριστώ πολύ παιχνίδι. Broom. Γεια σας.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on
Όχι,
track.
γιατί άσαμε, θέλω να εξερευνήσω τη μεγαλοπρέπεια αυτού της αποθήκης.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Δεν καταλαβαίνω τι...
It was baffling
Γιατί
that
για
Stanley was
πάρει
still just sitting in the broom closet.
ο
He
αφηγητής.
wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Δεν καταλαβαίνω γιατί για πάρει ο αφηγητής. Απολαμβάνω πάρα πολύ το χορτονό μου εδώ πέρα μέσα στην αποθήκη.
Are you really still in the broom closet?
Ναι.
Standing around doing nothing? Why? You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever.
Ξέρω εγώ
I never would have thought
ότι
to
μου
mention
λες
it.
αλήθεια και δεν κρύβεις κάτι πίσω από αυτά τα πάρα πολύ κακά γραφικά εδώ πέρα.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this concerning. Stanley was fat and ugly and really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Ο Στάθη δεν θα το έκανε ποτέ αυτό.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed in front of your screen. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible...
Καλά, εντάξει. Συνεχίζουμε.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Φυσικά και πηγαίνουμε downstairs. Έτσι δεν είπε και ο αφηγητής, Ναι. Downstairs δεν είπε. Και εδώ τίποτα, ένα χαρτί. Κλεί. Anyway, συνεχίζουμε. 12, 11, A, B.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours.
Αυτό το παιχνίδι κάνει όλο το μπιριμπίρι για μένα. Δεν χρειάζεται. Θα μπορούσα απλά να...
All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
What the fuck?
And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar.
No shit!
Simply repeating. No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This... That this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my dog. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
What? Nah.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Λοιπόν, τι προσπαθώ να πω εδώ και 10 λεπτά. Αυτό το παιχνίδι κάνει όλο τον πίρι για εμένα. Θα μπορούσα να το βάλω, να παίξω για ένα 40 λεπτό και να το ανεβάσω όπως είναι ακριβώς. Όπα, γεια σας. Πιστεύω στην αρχή. Ιουχουχου. Λοιπόν.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Λοιπόν, έχω άλλο πλάνο. Τώρα θα κάνω ακριβώς ό,τι μου λέει.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
On his left, βέβαια. Στα αριστερά. Πες μου κι άλλα, αφηγητή. Πες μου κι άλλα. Λοιπόν, είμαστε
Yet there was not a single person here
either.
either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Εντάξει, όχι, συγγνώμη, δεν θα ξαναγίνει. Λοιπόν, συνεχίζουμε.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Upstairs, ωραία. Πάμε πάνω, εδώ, όχι, πιο πάνω. Ποιος, όπα, που μπήκα, τι βικτωριανό γραφείο είναι αυτό εδώ πέρα. Λοιπόν.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him?
Oh, man.
What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him.
Nice.
And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. 2845. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck.
Oh, man.
Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay. Λοιπόν. Oh. Πολύ σκοτεινά εδώ πέρα.
This question would not go unanswered for long.
Κάτι κίτρινο.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape. Escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Γιατί να σε πιστέψω, έβαλες ένα μεγάλο κόκκινο escape.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Έγραψες ένα μεγάλο κόκκινο escape.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Ναι. Εντάξει, ίσως να έχει δίκιο ο αφηγητής. Αλλά μήπως μου το λέει τώρα ο αφηγητής για να με κρατήσει παγιδευμένο εδώ για μια αιωνιότητα.
Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
Λοιπόν, γεια σας. Πού είμαι εδώ? Έχει ένα μεγάλο κόκκινο κουμπί με μια λάμπα φυσικά και θα το πατήσω.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold?
Oh my God.
Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Οι τηλεοράσεις εκεί πέρα πάνω, τι φάση, γιατί ποιος μαλάκι μου έχουν περισσέψει 5 τηλεοράσεις που να τις βάλω. Βάλτε ρε όπου να είναι. Δεν θα μας πούν τίποτα. Κάμερες, ναι.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Fire. Πολύ κι άλλος. Το μαλά. Φώτα, ανοίξτε φως.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place.
Θα το άλλο το 3 που βρήκα πριν. Πλήση εγκεφάλου λέει αδρανής. Αναμένεται input.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Φυσικά. Χριστός Παναγία. Πεθάναμε, τι έγινε? Έπεσε το ταβάνι πάνω στο κεφάλι μου. Δεν ξέρω αν έχει μπλακάρει.
And a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Πεθάναμε. To be or not to be. Yes. Oh, what the fuck?
He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away.
Ποια ταινία θα δούμε?
And yet,
one eternity later.
The open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen.
Στην Ελβετία είμαστε. Τι φάση? Τι βουνά είναι αυτά? Όπα. Εκτυφλωτικό. Βρήκαμε ελευθερία από αυτή την τυραννική γραφειοκρατία, δεν ξέρω. Πάλι εδώ.
Disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Πάμε πίσω στο γραφείο του manager.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming new age music.
Ναι, ευχαριστώ πολύ για το... Τι παιχνίδι είναι αυτό. Οπα. Νιώθω φρέσκος σαν ψάρι έξω από το νερό. Δεν θα με αποθήσεις από τώρα. Θα πάω εδώ πέρα αποφασισμένος να φτάσω στο τέλος του διαδρόμου και ό,τι και να μου πεις δεν μου αλλάζει γνώμη. Death, ναι, εντάξει. Εγώ και ο φίλος μου Στάθης εδώ πέρα θα φτάσω στο τέλος του διαδρόμου. No matter what you say. Πέφτω. Α. Αυτό ήταν, πέθανα. Loading. Φόρτωσέ το. Ό,τι θες παιχνίδι. Η αφηγητή. Όπα, πέφτω ακόμα. Τα πόδια μου είναι γκέι.
So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life.
Γιατί να γράψεις escape σε αυτό το διάδρομο? Και γιατί υπάρχει... Τι έγινε?
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws.
Ποια είσαι εσύ?
In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Όπα. What? Παγώσαμε το χρόνο. Ναι. Υπάρχει κάποια απελευθέρωση εδώ πέρα.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Τι έχει εδώ? Wow.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same.
Αυτό είναι ένα μεγάλο φιλοσοφικό
Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
What? Ναι, ναι. Τι είναι, κάποιο μουσείο? Office layout. Εδώ ξεκινάμε. Εδώ είναι τα τέτοια μπουρουμπουρου. Εδώ είναι οι πόρτες. Και εδώ είναι οι πόρτες που πας. Οκ, είναι τους doors. Να, άσε με. Wow.
But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Turn off your PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice.
Αυτά είναι, παιδιά. Τα λέμε.